software engineers, backend engineers, web developers, welcome back. In this video we'll be looking at the domain name. So what is a domain name? But before we get into it, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you can get notified on any video I post, because a lot of videos are coming in and I'll just make sure to upload that. And for you to get notified, make sure you hit the bell. So without out of the way, let's just get into it. So a domain name is a unique address that identifies a website on the internet. So it's like a street address in the house, but instead of directing mail to a physical location, it directs web browsers to a specific website. So domain names are made up of two parts. So you've got the top level domain. The TLD is the extension that comes after the dot, such as a .com, .net, .org. In my case, I'm a Kenyan, so it's a .co.ke. TLDs are organized in a hierarchical system, with each TLD being responsible for a specific type of website. So you can even have a .gov, that's a .government, that ranks higher. We got the second level domain name. The SLD is the part of the domain name that comes before the TLD. It's typically the name of the organization or website owner. So for example, the domain name google.com is made up of the SLD Google and the TLD.com. So the SLD Google identifies the website is being owned by the company Google, and the TLD.com indicates that this is a commercial website. So you can see even in the graphic on the scene, you're seeing Seekerhost is the domain name, and .com is a top level domain. So yeah, I mean there's a clear distinction towards that, and sometimes people get it wrong, but that is actually the way you should look at it. So domain names are registered with domain registrars, which are organizations that are authorized to sell and manage domain names. When you register a domain name, you are essentially renting it from the registrar for a period of time, typically 1 or 2 years. Sometimes it can even change. After the registration period expires, you'll need to renew your registration to keep the domain name alive. So domain names are an important part of the internet infrastructure. They make it easy for users to find websites by using a memorable name instead of an IP address. So they also help to prevent cyber squatting, which is the practice of registering domain names that are similar to well-known trademarks in order to profit from the user confusion. So yeah, this is actually one thing that can really affect like the user experience. When you are going to google.com, then you find out that it's not actually Google, it's someone who bought a domain name and did that thing where they just try to like mimic everything. So it prevents that. So here are some of the benefits of using a domain name. So a domain name is easy to remember. Let's say for example you're developing your own website. Let's say for example for me, I'll create a www.devnderitu.co.ke. so I can be able to like remember that. So domain names are easy to remember than IP addresses. So IP addresses, which are long strings of numbers, so remembering an IP address might be quite difficult, but remembering a domain name is actually quite easy. Brandable domain names can be used to brand our website and make it easy for a user to find it. Let's say for example youtube.com, because I like YouTube, and actually it's the website that you're watching my video from. So when you type YouTube, it's easily searchable. It's a brand, so you'll know it's YouTube. SEO, that's search engine optimization. So domain names can help to improve our website search engine ranking. And when you do some SEO and make sure that, so search engine optimization is just making sure that your domain name or your brand tied to your domain name ranks higher in the search results. So it really helps when you have like a domain name, you can easily be able to make it rank higher. So yeah, then email, you got domain names can be used to create an email address. So you can be able to like create an email address out of it. Let's say for example, take the case of my website www.devnaruto.co.ke. So I can create an email. I can say info@devnaruto.co.ke. So you can see that that's an email address that is tied to that domain name that I created, and it goes to and I'm able to receive official emails from that, and it enables some professionalism when it comes to that. So when somebody, let's say a corporation, is sending an email to a corporation and you send with that, you can see that you're a professional, and they can see that you care about making sure that you set your brand apart from other people. So it really helps a ton. Then there's also the aspect of professionalism. I mentioned it earlier. A domain name makes a website look more professional than a website that uses a free hosting service. So free hosting services, they are there, they have limited features, and I can say they kind of like go down a lot. And if you don't invest in like a good domain name, and you rely on the free ones, you can easily a client can even drop you because they cannot look at you as reliable. And sometimes it's all about building your own credibility. So professionalism, it really helps on that, because let's say for example you have a very good email like info@devnaruto.co.ke. When sending an email to a potential employer or a potential client, they're able to like look at this as a mark of professionalism and able to take you. So yeah, on the aspect of professionalism, it really helps out a ton. So when thinking of starting out a website, it's important to choose a domain name that is easy to remember, like mine, devnaruto.co.ke, relevant to the website's content. When you want to put like your own personal content, using your name is easier, and available for registration. When you make sure it's available for registration, so you should considering getting a variety of TLDs, top level domains, for your website to protect your brand and prevent others from registering similar domain names. So depending on whichever organization you're looking at, you can have a .com, .net, .org, .africa. It depends on where you are at the time. Let's say for example, for me, I'm a Kenyan, I can use a .com or a .co.ke top level domain when I'm getting a domain name. So if I'm an organization, let's say let's say google.org, let's say Google is my organization, I can use a google.org, say google.net, something like that, but it's not allowed, but that's just an example. So if it's an organization, you put a .org, .africa came in, so you can even use your name .africa, which is a very good top level domain. So yeah, so there's a lot that comes in domain names, and I'll make sure to just give my much more emphasis on this, because right now we're just mentioning them because you're going to now go and apply them in real work projects that are going to be dropping soon on this channel. So please be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so that you get notified, and happy coding.